for regular polygons. Go ahead and pause here and put these formulas on your Chapter 8 formula sheet. Okay, number 1 here says find the area of each regular polygon. So according to my notes, the first thing I need to find for this polygon is the perimeter. And my notes say to find the perimeter, you add up all the sides. Well, it's 10.5 on each side, and there are 5 of them. That gives me 52.5. Now my formula says half the apothem, which we're given here is the apothem is from the middle of the polygon to the side, making a 90-degree angle. 9.1 times the perimeter, which is 52.5. Which gives me 238.9. This next one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have an octagon. So I have 4.5 on each side, and there's 8 sides. Gives me 36. So I do half the apothem times the perimeter. And that gives me 97.2 feet squared. And we'll go down to this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 sides at 14.4 each. Gives me a total perimeter of 72. So half the apothem, which is 9.9, times 72, 356.4. A patio is shaped like a regular hexagon, and each side measures 50 feet. The apothem of the patio is 43.3 feet. Find the area of the patio. So for the perimeter, I have 43.3 feet of a hexagon, which a hexagon is a 6-sided figure. Gives me 259.8. So I'm going to do half of the apothem, which is 43.3, times the perimeter, which is 259.8. Gives me 5,624.67 feet squared. A window shaped like a regular pentagon has sides that measure 1.5 meters. The apothem of the window is approximately 1 meter. Find the area of the window. So for the perimeter, I need to do 1.5 times 5. For my perimeter gives me 7.5. So half of the apothem, which is 1, times the perimeter, which is 7.5, gives me 3.75 meters squared. Okay. This one says to find the area, and the only information we're given is that we have an equilateral triangle. We know it's equilateral because it's inside of the circle. And so we have given this triangle here where the hypotenuse is 12 and the left side is 6. Going back to our chapter about Pythagorean theorem, we know that one side squared plus the other side squared equals the hypotenuse squared. So I'm going to do 12 squared minus 6 squared to both sides. X squared equals 180. Take the square root of 180. Gives me this base here as 13.4. Now, since I know that the is an equilateral triangle, so this side would also be 13.4. So that gives me a total across the bottom of 26.8. Left side would also be 26.8. And the right side would be 26.8. So my perimeter is 26.8 3 times, which is 80.4. So So for the area, I'm going to do half the apothem, which is 6, times 80.4. Gives me a total area of 241.2. On this next one, the enclosure on the 4th floor underneath the Foucault pendulum at the Houston Museum of Natural Sciences in Houston, Texas, is a regular dodecagon. Remember, dodecagon means 12. A side length is 4.3 feet, and the radius is about 8.3 feet. What is the floor area of the enclosure? So we know that we need to do half of the apothem, which is 8.3, times the perimeter, which we said was 12, and each side is 4.3, gives me a perimeter of 51.6. Gives me a total of 214.14 feet squared. Okay, on this one, I'm given a triangle again. So I know that this would be x. So I'm going to do one side squared plus x squared equals hypotenuse squared. So I'm going to minus 10 square root of 3 squared from both sides. And that would give me 20 squared minus 10 square root of 3 squared, 100. Take the square root of that and I get 10. So I know that this entire side then would be 20. So the perimeter is 20 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is 120. So half the apothem times the perimeter gives me 1039.2.